Okay, we got destructible areas. Maybe we're going to get a tank or a dinosaur. I might as well try. We're going to land in the same area, but I don't think I might be able to make that. Okay. Here we go. Oh! Come on! Come on!
It's me, that chap.
Super Mario!
Super Mario!
Super Mario! The first, this is important. All the Nintendo consoles come with the Mario. And the Wii U one... it's alright, it's alright. I mean, I'm not talking about Mario Maker, which took the world by storm. That came later, but this is kind of the launch Mario. The Switch has been out for a while. But here it is, and it's all about hats. It's all about them hats. Cappy, mate, Cappy. So I'm going to be jumping around because I'm a big Mario fan.
Yeah.
I'm going in, and it's not a game for kids, but it can be. It's not all. Don't judge me.
Why is it not for kids?
I don't think.
Select character.
This, mate, I can directly associate with because of its fondness for hats.
Can you believe Peach has been kidnapped again?
Are you taking the mick?
I'm not.
I'm thinking maybe
I'm
a
not.
house alarm, you know? A lock on the door.
I'm thinking she needs a leash.
Yeah.
She needs to be chained to the floor at this
Maybe
point.
a guard dog.
Peach has been kidnapped again.
I'm thinking Pomeranian.
By Bowser. He should be locked up, this Bowser fella.
Can I make another guess?
Go on.
Are you going to go to several castles and it turns out she's not there?
No. Several kingdoms. Several kingdoms, my friend. We're going to several kingdoms in order to deal with this. Are you prepared for audience and Andy? Are you prepared to tell you about possibly the best game ever made? And I am not shitting you. I am not even close to joking.
Start with that.
I have to caveat that, of course, with if you like Nintendo.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If you like Nintendo, this is possibly the best game ever made. And I want to just stress that, like, the best game, technically, according to Metacritic, which is, of course, the Bible, is Ocarina of Time.
Yep.
And this is 1 point behind it, alongside Breath of the Wild, which is why the Switch is starting to look extremely tempting to a hell of a lot of people,
Absolutely.
especially with Metroid 4 on its way. But let's get into what has been nothing but just smiles for 3 days straight playing this game. So Big Bowser Man, the big sex machine himself, who has access to apparently unlimited funds and technology throughout the universe, has once again kidnapped Lady Peach, and he's gonna marry her. He's gonna marry her.
I want to rewind back to that microaggression and say, if you're working in a bank, you know, you've got your suit on, your shirt and tie. Now he comes in for a loan. Are you going to be the guy that says no?
Bowser does not need a loan.
He's pretty big.
He's pretty big. He is pretty big. He's gonna marry her, and the whole story of Mario Odyssey is he's kidnapped Peach. He wants to marry her, and he's travelled to various kingdoms to steal their prized possession that he wants for the ceremony.
Wait a minute. Has this always been the gimmick of Mario, and I've just massively let it fly over
It does
my head?
turn out that you are not a Mario fan. Is that correct?
I like playing Mario?
Which Marios have you played? Before we get into this.
How dare you, sir? Mario Kart, Mario Kart 64. No, I tell you what, I think I've probably played apart. No, it's a bum rap. That I'd probably say. Mario
I know
64
you haven't. You're lying. You're lying.
I've touched on Mario 64, and that's it. I'm not lying. I've not played the game through. I've touched on it, but I've not played anything on the Wii. The Wii U.
That's probably better for the style of our reviews because I can tell you about it.
But
which
it's
is fine.
Okay. So he always kidnaps Peach because he's after marrying her.
Yeah.
I fucking never knew that.
That's it. That's the main crux of every Mario game. Like, even in Mario Maker, it just says, Peach has been kidnapped yet again.
I know that he kidnaps her, but
yeah, it's because he wants to marry her. Yeah, he wants to be with her.
For the bands
no, it's basically a love triangle. It's both Mario and Bowser, and some people are going to get triggered now, because there are so many Mario games.
Right.
But generally, they both want to be with Peach in some way. And that is really highlighted in this one. She can't marry a dinosaur.
But on the flip side, I'm torn because you can't marry like a 2-foot plumber.
He's got
It's just
skills,
too
this
many
lad, though.
questions.
I mean, you talk. He's got skills. He's got more charms than that mustache. That's all I'm saying to you.
Oof.
He's got more charms than that mustache.
Mustache rides.
And that's all that's needed. So he's going to all these kingdoms and he's stealing something. So from like the Ice Kingdom, he's stealing their frosted cake. Right?
Nice.
But the opening thing is he goes to the Cap Kingdom, as in hats, caps.
Yep.
And he steals Tiara, who is a tiara.
You liar.
He steals Tiara, who is the sister of Cappy, who's going to be our companion throughout the game.
Okay.
The sister of Cappy. So Cappy and Mario decide to team up in order to go and get this back, and they're going to chase Bowser in their... It's a spaceship / air balloon that's badly damaged because Bowser's wreaked havoc on the Cap Kingdom, where you pick up your... Well, you don't... He's wreaked havoc, and you have to get a spaceship, but it's pretty busted. It can only travel a certain amount of distance, and you've got to keep following Bowser along his path in order to eventually meet up with the Bowsman at the end and stop the wedding, which is the mission, really, is to stop the wedding. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying
Like
to stop the
Mrs.
wedding.
More
A little bit like that, yeah. A bit more like Wayne's World, actually.
Cuckoo
A bit
Cuckoo.
more like Wayne's World 2 is exactly what it's like.
Cassandra!
Exactly, it's a bit like that. You do have to stop the wedding. But obviously the story is always super basic. It's about the gameplay. And that is where Nintendo does what Nintendo does
Reign
best.
supreme.
They are the literal gods of this stuff. And it's only when you play a Nintendo game that you realize how truly shoddy and amateur some games are when it comes to creativity, level design, and gameplay and controls. When you play a true Nintendo title, like the Mario series or something like that, you're just like, God, everyone else is so bad. And this is why Nintendo can release like 5 or 6 titles and sell a console on it.
Yeah.
Because those games are so worthwhile that you're not getting that kind of quality anywhere else. And this is no different whatsoever. There's creativity and level design in this game that I have never seen in my life. It is unbelievable how much they've managed to do. Now, what's great about this, though, because that might sound like overwhelming to some people, my 4-year-old has done the first 2 levels of Mario Odyssey.
Nice.
Yes, and that is because of the wonderful addition of 2 things. One is assist mode, if you want to get this with your kids. Assist mode basically tells you where the next point of the next power moon is. It's not stars in this one, it's power moons.
Right.
Where it is, it just puts blue lines along the floor so you can run around and follow them. And if you fall off the edge of something, you don't die, it just puts you back on the map and you can keep going. And that's what's there for little kids to start learning Mario. Because we were kids when we started Mario. I was a little kid. Mario was one of my first games ever. It was Super Mario on the NES. And they still want to make a game that kids can play.
Yep. Absolutely.
Which is fantastic. They still want to make a game for kids, but they've also got to contend with 30-year Mario vets who want something fucking serious up in this piece, right? They want something serious. And the way they've done that is so good. So you can choose to turn assist mode on if you want, if you're not very good at these kind of games or you're still learning, and because the platforming gets pretty tricky. But the other thing they've done is there is so many power moons. And what they've done is the difficulty scaling between the first power moons to the last is in an ocean of skill. An ocean of skill. Yeah, absolutely. If you just want to play this and just see the story and see the kingdoms, basically what happens is the Odyssey will land, which is the ship, and it might say you need 8 power moons to get the Odyssey to the next level. Right? And the first 3 will be the story of that zone. And then that's done. And it's usually not that difficult to finish that bit. I'm going to say to you, Andy, you need 8 power moons to finish this level.
Right.
This level has 68 power moons on it. 68.
Okay.
You need 8 of 60 power moons to move on, right? Which means that there are many super easy power moons to pick up, which is great for kids, and it's great for people who are learning to play platformers. You can pick up these really easy ones, or not just for kids, for people who aren't great at platforming, because platforming can be super frustrating and really hard to do. So they've created these massive goals, and to find, I've never seen so much content secretly but delicately and nicely placed in a level in my life.
Nice.
Not an inch of the levels is wasted. And because of that, everything you see in the level is there for a reason. Everything is to be questioned. Everything is to be suspect. Everything is to be suspicious. And they're not trying to be sneaky about it. They're really not trying to be sneaky about it. They're just saying stuff like there might be a glimmer near a wall. There's a glimmer. There might be, and they're very open about it. They give you these robots. I should explain Cappy first. So Cappy, obviously, is a hat that sits on your head. And he's like the gimmick. So in Sunshine, we had Flood, where you could spray the water and you could hover and do things like that. In this one, it's Cappy. Now, Cappy can be thrown in front of you and you can hold him and he creates a new platform for you to jump on, which allows for some really technical combos. That took me a couple of hours to get the muscle memory to be able to do them because they involve like 20 key presses in order to pull it off. But once you could do it, and I can do it now without even thinking, I could just activate the combo, is you could traverse massive distances and cut out a lot of insignificant gameplay. You can do skill moves, which is what Mario was all about. If you watch a pro player play Mario, it's obscene the things they're doing to be able to pull it off. But Cappy can also possess things, which is the big thing in this game. So every level is totally unique, not only because is it a totally different world, so you'll have your wooded worlds, you'll have a city that most people saw in the trailer, which is New Donk City, and then you'll also have the ice world, the underwater world, so it's got all that going for it. But inside that, you're then going to be taking over fish, you're going to be taking over squids, you're going to be taking over weird stone creatures that need sunglasses on or sunglasses off to be able to see things, and they all have totally interesting and completely unique ways of playing them that change how you play in that game. You could change over fireballs, which can then swim through lava, and they can jump over things. You could take over Hammer Brothers. You could take over tomato creatures. You could take over caterpillars, which can extend and fold around corners. And you could do all this kind of stuff within one level. And that's the nature of this game.
Can you take over a Bullet William?
You could take over a Bullet Bill and his Big Daddy Mega Bullet Bill.
Oh, nice.
Mega Bullet Bill. And you can use them to become a rocket, and then you're shooting across the level, and you're looking for things that way. And then they turn it up a bit. So, yeah, the game...
very clever.
It's super clever. So to get the Power Moon... Like, each secret area you'll find, which includes the super nostalgic and also really well done 2D levels. So, a lot of people, and I agree with this, are saying Mario Odyssey is a mix of Zelda, Kirby, Metroid, and the way you can see this stuff is like the 2D worlds that you go into are taken from A Link to the Past, pretty much. The painting system, where you become 2D against a flat wall, but that's a level in itself. You're now playing 2D Mario within the 3D world. And it's also fantastic because the 3D world can enter the 2D world. That's not just you. So if a 3D Bullet Bill chases you into the 2D world, it'll then turn into the 2D Bullet Bill side-scrolling across. And then if it comes out of the painting or the wall, it'll then come back to the 3D Bullet Bill. And then you can do clever things with that, like lead a Bullet Bill through the 2D world, complete the 2D world, come out of the 2D world back into the 3D world, and get Bullet Bill to turn back to 3D and use that to destroy a wall or something.
Holy shit, so you'd lead a Bullet Bill into a 2D world through like this, whatever the platform being of the 2D world.
Well, yeah, essentially Super Mario Bros. 1. So when you go into the 2D world, you're essentially playing Super Mario Bros. 1 from the 80s. And all the graphics go back to that, but also within this 3D environment of the real world, which is where you're playing it.
That sounds so good.
It's crazy. But in each of those, there's going to be the easy Power Moon, which you can pick up, which is just like complete this level. But there'll also be a secret one, which requires much harder platforming and jumping and be able to achieve. And that's where you really start to rack up the points and stuff, which is going to be important later on. So Cappy is the big thing, and learning to... There's so much movement, and I think serious Mario players will agree with me on this, that the movement is everything. How much control do I have over Mario?
How responsive is it?
How responsive is it? How tight is it? And how can I link and combo these things together? Because there's a lot of combos in Mario in order to traverse ludicrous gaps or ludicrous jumps in a really clever, skillful way while maintaining momentum. Because if you watch somebody play Super Mario 64 or even now Odyssey, you will see it all linked together in such a smooth way that it just looks, it's almost poetic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How it's all linking together smoothly and everything looks so clean and nice. And this has that in spades. And there's actually so much stuff you can do with Cappy that they've basically not thrust it upon you. They give you an action guide and they'll tell you, there's an action guide in this game. You don't need it because you can finish the game if you're a novice player. You can finish the game with the basic controls, which will be like jump, long jump, things like that.
Action guide.
The action guide will open up a menu of all the things that you can do with Mario.
Okay.
Including a huge abundance that you don't need to finish the game.
Yeah.
Right? So it'll be stuff like doing a to give you an idea of the main combo, which is called the cap combo, is doing a large jump, which will be a triple jump or a long jump, throwing your cap, then traversing into a dive while maintaining the cap's existence, because you can control how long the cap is out there, landing on the cap, grabbing the cap, jumping again, throwing your cap again, and then doing an extra dive. Now, you can link all those things together to cover massive distances that if you were playing the ordinary game, one, you couldn't be able to do if you weren't doing things like that, or you'd have to go around some obtuse way of doing it.
Yeah.
But by being able to do these links and combos, you can skillfully, and it feels very rewarding when you do it, get across big areas.
Can you infinitely link that?
No, you can't, which was a good idea. No, you can't. No, you can't do that infinitely. Otherwise, that would break a lot of the game if you could instantly do that. But what you'll find is they have done the level design so well, Andy, that there are things that you can see that you will have no earthly idea how you could possibly get to there. And they know every millimeter of the levels, and they're huge, is for a purpose. Now, even if they're not going to give you a power move for it, if you get to a certain area that you know was really hard to get to and you shouldn't be there, they knew someone was going to try and get there. And what you'll find is actually a treasure trove of coins or something. Huge amounts of money. Just like, well done. Yeah, you could get here. We knew you could get here if you were really good and did mega cap combos. With nothing to give you that, because a novice player isn't going to get here.
Yeah.
But there you go. There's your reward, a load of coins.
It's recognition.
And the coins are worthwhile. The coins are worthwhile. So there are two currencies in the game. One is your standard gold coins. Now, these actually have relevance, which has been a problem a lot of people had with Mario for a while, is the coins didn't mean anything anymore. They now do, because there are shops in each level which basically buy outfits. They buy really cool costumes from Mario. Everything from being a caveman to a pirate to being... I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a lot. There is a lot in there. And there's also purple coins. Now, the purple coins are kingdom-specific. So, like, the Cap Kingdom will have its own purple coins. So it'll have something like 50 to find. But you can only spend them in the Cap Kingdom.
Yeah.
And then the next one... the next kingdom, like Bowser's Kingdom or something like that, will have the Bowser purple coins. And they buy stuff that actually turns you into a new outfit, which will probably be used to get you into new areas of the level. So you can get, say, you might meet Toad somewhere, and he's like, or somebody, a resident of the kingdom, and he will say something like, this is for us only, you're not allowed in here. So if you go to, like, the beach kingdom, there's a seaside kingdom, that you can't get in the clubhouse unless you're dressed for the beach. So you have to find a certain amount of purple coins to unlock the beachcomber's outfit. So you got to get your flip-flops and your Hawaiian shirt on and your straw hat. Then they'll let you in there to get some extra stuff done as a nice reward. But there's way more coins than what you need to get the mission done. I think they're the cheapest items. So there might be... There's either 50 or 100 purple coins.
Yeah.
To get the outfit to do the extra power moons or whatever will be 15 coins.
Right.
The extra coins, Andy, are to trick out the Odyssey. Which is well good. So there's usually two outfits. There's the cheap one, which will get you into the next area to actually complete the level.
Yeah.
Then there's a more expensive but cooler outfit. So it might be a mega samurai outfit, like a proper feudal Japan outfit. And then there'll be statues and stuff that you can put inside the Odyssey that you can keep. And then there'll be stickers that you can put inside the Odyssey. So it's like them suitcases that you've seen where they put a sticker on them each. Yeah, that have traveled the globe. Yeah. So the outside of the Odyssey by the end is just covered in stickers. And it's so busy inside of the Odyssey that it's super crammed in, which makes it fantastic. It really is funny. I liked it a lot anyway.
I like that. There's just a little thing with the Odyssey because it gives you that sense of travel, doesn't it?
It's a
little
journey.
Things
yeah.
like that, yeah.
It is a journey because each kingdom, to put it into context, this game is enormous. And a lot of people rag on Nintendo for their backwards thinking, certainly when it comes to YouTube and streaming. There's a big chance that Nintendo will claim this video alone.
Yeah.
But that backwards thinking also means they don't think along the lines really of DLC and stuff. It's hard to express that when you finish this game, there is 800 plus power moons to get.
Wow.
I got pretty much every purple coin in every kingdom that I could. We did pretty much every power moon that we could. We were just over halfway done when we finished the game.
That's
huge.
That's a full main story clear of the game and a bit of side exploration as well.
Not
right?
A bit, a lot. We spent
exploration.
hours in each kingdom going around every nook and cranny searching because there was always something to find.
Yeah.
Always something to find. As I said, I was mentioning earlier before we talked about Cappy, is there are robots in the level that are just spyglasses. So you possess them, you'll shoot up into the sky and get an over-the-world map. They want you to find these things.
Yeah.
Right? They're not being shy about it. It's like, this is cool stuff that's everywhere. We want you to find it, and we'll give you aerial views of the level so you can kind of see what's going on. And there are so many power moons that once you've finished the story, characters will appear in the world that'll help you. So there'll be like a macaw that will tell you a hint to a secret power moon. You can also speak to a toad who will reveal the location of another power moon, but it's going to cost you some coins and all this kind of stuff, so you can find them all out if you don't want to use a guide. Now, most people will use a guide instead of wasting the coins because things at the end of the game get very, very expensive.
Yeah.
And you're going to want them. Believe me, when you see them, you're going to want them. But not just that, like, we did 3 days, so about 24 hours, I think, 24 to 27 hours of getting to the last, to fight the last Bowser fight. There are at least 3 more full kingdoms that come after that.
How big's a kingdom?
That's what takes like 68 power moons to finish. If you wanted to complete it, it's going to be something like 100 purple coins to find in there, and they're going to be 60 to 68 objectives in each one. There are some smaller ones which are 50 purple coins and about half as many power moons. But not only that, once you finish the game, you're going to unlock something that puts brand new power moons back into every single level so that all those levels then become fresh again.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, it's huge. It's endless.
This
is DLC stuff from any other company. This is DLC stuff. You would not expect this amount of stuff.
No, you're right.
Like the costumes which cost you coins, you can get them for free if you have the amiibos, but there are no costumes that are locked off if you haven't got amiibos. You can get everything in the game. Everything is available in the game. Everything is totally there, and it's not that hard to get. It really isn't. It's about exploration. So if you love this game, you're going to go from driving tanks to being chased by dinosaurs to controlling a dinosaur to being a bullet to being a caterpillar to be soaring through the sky to be playing 2D Mario from 30 years ago with constant music and nostalgia and brand new fresh things. And I want to put this out as we come to the end here because cons to this game are super minor before I get to a point that I think people should see if they're debating whether to get this game. The cons to this game, I'd have to be mega nitpicky. I think bonking was a little too severe. So bonking is when you hit a wall, so you kind of missed your jump. You were slightly too shallow on your jump and you hit a wall. In Mario 64 and Sunshine, you could kind of tap your button to get up quickly. You can't do this in this one, so I felt it was a little too punishing on that.
So you need to get a full clear of the gap.
Yeah, it's just if you hit a wall, if you miss time a jump, basically, you slam into a wall or something like that, or you roll and you hit a wall, you'll bonk and Mario will sit on his bum for a second and then stand up. Now, that 2 seconds can feel like an eternity when this games get harder. And a lot of people still are under the impression that Mario is for kids. Balls to that. This game gets incredibly hard.
Yeah.
Incredibly hard. There are some absolute gut-wrenching marathon sections which are truly satisfying to complete. Really good, really fun, but hard. Really hard. So balls to that. I'm not having that. And there's also some maneuvers you can do with Cappy which are tied to movement. Now, you're supposed to play the game with the Joy-Cons. That's what it recommends. Which, if you're not sure, those are the 2 things that slide off the side of the Switch.
Yeah.
I played it with the Pro Controller. I could do 99% of Mario's movement with that. The things I couldn't do was some tricks with the hat. One is to get the hat to spin around you permanently. You had to move the pad like horizontally very quickly, and that initiated that attack. And you can also flick the pad up and you'll throw the hat straight up. So the hat can collect things and it can attack enemies.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can also flick it down and you'll flick it down.
Yeah.
I didn't like that because when it gets harder, you need to be so precise at all times that having to judder the pad, I didn't enjoy that at all. Now, I just want to say with a caveat there, that might be fine with the Joy-Cons. It might be totally fine. I just didn't play it with the Joy-Cons. I used the Pro Controller.
Did you still have access to those moves with the Pro?
Yeah, I still had them, but they were a little clunky with the Pro Controller.
Right. Yeah,
certainly, as like I say, it only really affected me in the bonus kingdoms that you get, which because they require a certain amount of power moons to unlock, you must be good at the game by the time you get there, because you can't get there otherwise. Do you know what I mean? You can't reach it. And therefore, it gets really tough. And you need to be able to do everything Mario can do in order to get through them. And therefore, you want precision, absolute precision. And I didn't like these sideways controls. I probably would have got better at it if I kept practicing, but I'd rather have some sort of button. If I could spin my hat in a circle, why can't you give me something where I can just spin the thumbstick very quickly and it'll do it, you know? Something similar to that. That would have been nice. The pros are everything. Like, if I could give this a score, it'd be a 99%. And the only 1% I knock off of them tiny nitpicks. It's pure joy. It is so fun from start to finish that you feel like, not only do you feel like a child again, but it's still technical enough for somebody who takes his gaming quite seriously to get a lot out of it.
I wish I enjoyed platforming games more.
Yeah, certainly when it got to the harder and harder challenges, like the really hard stuff, there was definitely a lot of people who watched us play who were like, I would have thrown the pad out the window by now. But it's one of those, and I always put it down to, the best description I ever heard of this was about puzzles. If your experience with puzzles is that you can never finish a puzzle, you don't understand how good it feels to get it right. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And to get it right and to be victorious and to succeed and get that satisfaction, that's the best feeling in the world for me. So a good challenge that's fair, and all these challenges are fair, because if you fail, you know where you messed up. You did too many jumps. You didn't do the right maneuver. Your thumbstick didn't go right. You did something wrong here that you should have got right.
Yeah.
Then you know that I can do better and I can improve on this and I can get it there. And then when you do it, I can tell you one power moon in this game took us probably an hour and a half to get.
Really?
And it's not about the power moon at that point. It's the challenge.
You're invested in the challenge.
It's the challenge. I don't care about power moons. There's 800 of these, right? These are just, all I care about is what is the next piece of content you got for me. The power moons are irrelevant. It's just about what is the next interesting piece of content. And everything you're doing is just, this is amazing. This is fun. This is fantastic. So there's my pros. Now, the thing that I would say, if you're sat on the fence about this, is to check out the festival level. And that's all I'm going to say. If you're on the fence about whether you might want to get a Switch, whether this Mario is going to be worth it, you enjoyed 64, you enjoyed Sunshine, you enjoyed Galaxies. If you're on the fence about how creative and how amazing this is, just find the festival level on YouTube or something like that, and enough said. Enough said.
The question isn't should you buy this game. It's is it worth the game and a Switch on top? Just for this game. That's what came out of everything we played with Mario. It wasn't like, is this game worth it? Because that's not a question.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. This is like one of the best games ever made, in my opinion. It really
Jesus
is.
Christ.
It really is. It's one of the best games ever. It's just so fun all the time.
Right.
That people weren't asking, should we get the game? It was, do I buy an entire console just to play this?
What did you say?
I say what I always say to that question is, if you like Nintendo, they will only release probably 4 or 5 games that are really the ones you want. But those games will be amazing. Yeah. So it's like a Switch plus Breath of the Wild, but you can get that on the Wii U. In fact, we have that here, because they sent us the Wii U version when we bought the Switch. I don't know. And Metroid is coming, and Xenoblade's on there, and things like that. Pokemon, and that's all you'll need, and you'll get your money's worth out of a Switch. As to Mario itself, though, I just can't say more about it. It's so good. It's so I want to play so much more of it, and to get to the end and experience something we haven't experienced for ages, which is just so much more is given to you after you finish the game that it doesn't happen anymore. That's DLC.
It's not just wrap up.
It's DLC. That's DLC. You'd be paying more money for that, and you get full kingdoms after you finish the game. It's like, here's another kingdom. Here's another kingdom. Here's another kingdom. Oh, by the way, we have redone every level in the game and give you more stuff. Nice.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, so to see that experience and just think, you know what, this is what gaming was about. And it does feel like that. It was just
complete.
Yeah, you finished the game, you probably really enjoyed yourself. Here's just tons and tons more. And hard, too.
Yeah.
Really hard. Like, good God, some of that stuff gets hard in there, but you feel so satisfied doing it. So Mario Odyssey, I leave the decision up to you. If you like it, I would get it, and that would be it. I'm happy. We don't play the Switch a lot. There's no doubt about that. Out of all the consoles besides the Xbox, rip. It's the least played console we have, but still when we do play it, It's
Yeah.
just so good. So there you go. Mario Odyssey, ladies and gentlemen. You can watch the VOD down below to get an idea of whether or not it is for you, because maybe you never touched a Mario, really.
Yeah.
Or you can check out our previous Mates What's, which was on Wolfenstein.
Ooh, mate. Before we finish though, I'm looking at your Fedodo and I'm getting quite jealous. Thanks, bruv.
Don't take my stuff, man.
It's me.
Oh.
We dropped this thing.
Is that a
Oh,
nuke?
then sink the whole fucking boat. Would you mind coming over here and